heck? Hmm. The only magical girl design I could think of as like a reference for someone else who's done it was the wolf girl from Tokyo Mew Mew. Those are more like leggings, I guess, but okay, it really is no lapel, huh? Okay. I feel like bell bottoms would be really cute on a magical girl. Um, I guess either should be like 70s inspired or just be beyond everyone else in terms of fashion. Unfuckwithable. She can make bell bottoms work. Yeah, I think pants could look cool on a magical girl. I wonder where this guy got this suit. He probably just like killed someone for them for this look. Because he's wearing like a very weird jacket and like slacks, it looks like, with a belt. So yeah, it's like, I think if you have the right shoes and shirt, you can make like a leggings look really cute for a magical girl, but having like the little flared out bell bottoms thing going on is also really fun. Either that or, yeah, because instead of wide leg pants, it could also be that type of pants that oh my god, a freaking magical girl in UFO pants. Dude, freaking Hot Topic magical girl. It's a bit bigger. It's kind of small, but still. So you know who that guy from Edith Finch, whoever did the art style for his drawings? Nice. Mossily. She could throw crystal balls at enemies and read their minds when the crystal ball, because the crystal ball will knock them out and put them in like a vulnerable state, or at least daze them, and then the crystal ball like absorbs their thoughts and memories, and then she can like summon the ball back to her and then like read their thoughts. Edith Finch mentioned. I guess for at least the 20th time, I'm assuming by this point. Hydration check. I started doing that thing where I'm like, I will have a little sip of water. Then I just started chugging it. Wide-eyed, wondering when I'd be able to breathe again. Pretty wide-armed jackets. Let's forward a little bit more. It looks like it's creased up a lot. It's a very well-worn jacket. Oh yeah, cat time. Frolicking with the fluffy little voids in the garden, or the backyard, or whatever, patio. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta keep trying. Oh, it does suck when you really like the sketch quality, or you just like how something turned out, and you're like, well, I can't use this though. Oh well. Powerful for fighting evil. You're fighting evil by moonlight and winning love by daylight. Saving lives with her thick, thick thighs. It's name of the magical girl. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, cool. I'll totally grab some later. Cool, thanks. If you have one in your hand, cool. Oh, oh, thank you. Right. Cool, thank you very much. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, I know Baze really likes wafers, so. Oh, okay. I might grab one tomorrow, thanks. Yay. I don't see enough, like, magical girls with hips. Usually because they guess they're supposed to look like. Well, yeah, magical girls, so they're, like, usually teenagers or something. There was that one magical girl, Creamy Mommy, which is a weird name, but I guess it was the fucking 80s, I don't know. And I think her thing was that she was like a kid, but she turned into an adult woman for her like super persona. So there was that, but Hello. Mm. Okay, this is a weird freaking jacket. Okay, so it goes down significantly. Alright, thing in the back. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Not enough magical college girls. Man, there's this series based on like a brand mascot called Supersonico. And when I first started seeing the figures and stuff, I was like, oh my god, these figures are so cute. And I sort of did the anime girl thing where I'm like, please, these are very ecchi figures. Please be of a character who's like not in fucking high school or something. But she's in college. Yay! I was so happy to know that Supersonico is canonically a college girl. She is pursuing a future and also doing modeling on the side. Alright, okay, the other side's usually like draped off his shoulder. Just like always hanging off one shoulder. Okay, he's like holding the thing up, so. Okay, so neck about here, and then that would go. That was okay. The shoulder would start more like here. Hmm? Oh, I forgot what hip dips were, but they're like violin hips, right? Where you can sort of like see the curve of the bone, and then like the hips sort of go down around because it's like the hip bone, and then there's the part of the femur where it goes like that. So essentially, that's kind of what's happening when you have the violin hips. And why I thought it was really stupid a while ago when I was seeing people being like, "No, they're ugly. You have to have like the perfect rounded shape or whatever." Like that's dumb. Like it's literally just a bump where the hip is, and then a bump where like the top of the femur is. And some people have the sort of fat distribution where it just kind of like rounds that out. But it's pretty common to have that because that's where the bones are. I think there should be like a class on skeletons. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, just about how skeletons and muscles and stuff work. I guess that would be like health or whatever. There should be a mandatory health class. And it wouldn't just be a weird one time a year sex ed thing for the kids whose fucking Christian parents didn't get them taken out of the course. Be like, here's how basic functions of the human body work. get pushed up a little bit. Yeah, essentially it's just like the weight of the fat and muscles pulling the skin around the bones, and some people have a little bit of extra padding between them that gives it like a curved shape. But some people have that sort of like that thing going on. Because that's where the fucking bones are. There are so many like dumb beauty obsessions and trends and stuff like that that always get like a few years later everyone will be like, oh, that's actually hot now. Like everyone wants to have this now, even though a few years ago you were getting made fun of for it. Yeah, I really think that art classes should involve a very simple, like, learn the general skeleton structure thing. Because, like, I probably ranted about this before. I'm supposed to be drawing something else, but, like, there's this problem I see when people aren't used to drawing fat characters. And what they'll do is they'll just kind of have each part of the body, but then they'll just make it rounder and bigger. And then they'll just kind of like layer things on top of each other, which ends up with like a really weird long form where everything is just kind of thick, like everything is kind of uniformly thick. There are people in real life who have like thick calves and ankles, but like not every fat person is just like a marshmallow puff, because first of all, the problem with just stacking the features like this on top of each other is that you're not following the skeleton. It's like, because you gotta remember, there's a skeleton under there. You got the head, you got the rib cage, you got the pelvic bones, spine, like shoulder blades, where the arms connect, general proportions, elbows usually go down to about the belly button, wrists usually go to about the crotch, and then hands usually go about halfway down the thigh approximately. And you've got these, which sort of connect like that, and they tend to go in a little bit. This is exaggerated, but then you've got the leggies with the foot bone that goes back and the other feet bone that go forward. So when you add fat to a skeleton, you add like all the other muscles and stuff like that. You can like see you've got the chest here, and then if you have like a really big belly, it's gonna like overlap a little bit. You're not gonna be putting like the crotch all the way below the belly. The crotch is like up here. Thighs touching. One of the stupidest things I see in someone will draw really huge hips and then they'll still have like a thigh gap. It's like, honey, what are you doing? Stop that. You just kind of got to add on top of the skeleton. It's pretty common for the forms to taper downward toward the extremities. Like where more fat will be concentrated in the middle, then it'll sort of taper down to the ankles and stuff. And it's like, even if you have like thicker hands and feet and stuff like that, you don't usually have just the thing I see some amateur artists do, where it's like they're still learning, but they pretty much just draw the leg like a big elephant foot, even if they're not trying, like even if they're trying to do a really cutesy stylized style, it'll be like they just make everything wider. It's like sometimes a stylization can work. Yeah, it's like you gotta look at real people, no matter what kind of body type you're doing, look at real people of all different shapes and sizes, and consider the skeleton. Consider the skeleton. Consider its joints. We draw each part of the skeleton, its basis of anatomy. Like, a lot of people think that learning muscles is the most important part, but if you, like, learning muscles can be useful, so, especially if you're drawing characters who are all muscled up like this guy and stuff like that. It makes it so the arms don't look super weird, something like that. Usually limbs get affected pretty heavily by muscle shape. But, like, the skeleton is under the muscles. The skeleton is the basis of everything. And you don't have to draw a super detailed skeleton. You could literally just be like, if I'm having trouble with a form, I'll just draw the skeleton. So it's like, head, rib cage, pelvic bone, legs. It's essentially a stick figure. But with just, like, more shapes to the torso. That's it. It's like learning just kind of basic proportions, like where things usually fall, and sort of matching up shapes and stuff like that. Like, usually a hand is big enough so if you spread it out, you can cover your face. Like, right now I have my hand on my face, and my palm, the bottom of my palm where it connects to the wrist, is on my chin, and my middle finger, my longest finger, is reaching my forehead. And then I can spread the hands out around my face, and I can touch my cheeks with the pinky and thumb. So, like, the hand spread out is, like, big as the face. That's a useful one. Usually your forearm is approximately the same length as your foot. And you can always do stuff to break those rules to create more interesting, more cartoony characters. There's some stuff that's just really useful in drawing that, like, a lot of stuff was useful to learn, like, use references when you need it. Try drawing different things instead of just drawing the same thing all the time. Break things down into shapes, stuff like that. But also, like, there's some stuff where it's like, if you're drawing people, you don't have to draw perfect realism. But, no matter how much you stylize, sometimes when you just know general proportions and, like, how to structure things, that you can end up not drawing things that look like you don't know what the fuck you're doing, Sorry, I was rambling. That's good. I'm also trying to do that. Like, over time, my OCs, like the ones I have on Artfight and stuff like that, I've changed their designs a few times, because I'm like, there's not enough. They're, like, kind of all the same, even if they have different personalities and fucking hair colors and stuff. They kind of look too much the same, so I want them to have different heights and weights and muscle mass. That's a good idea, too. And it also, like... Yeah, that's a good idea. Because, like, sometimes it's also just posing like that, or, doing the thing where you're trying to draw a facial expression so you make it with your face so you can, like, feel the expression. It's similar if you're doing a pose. You're like, okay, how would this look? Like, how would it feel to do this pose? Is it really easy? Are the muscles gonna be tense? Like, how hard is it to do this pose? And also, it's just kind of fun to do funny little poses. Just be kind of silly. That's always fun. Yeah, it's good that you want to try new things, do different body types and stuff like that. The only advice I can possibly share is a wise old art nanny is keep trying, and if you're drawing something based on, like, a real creature and you're having trouble figuring out, like, posing or anatomy or stuff like that, consider the skeleton. The skeleton doesn't get enough love. I love you, skeletons. I mean, mine kind of fucks me up sometimes because it aches because it's very old, but it's okay. It's doing its best. facing up. Do you mean like... that? Yeah. Thumb, finger, like that? I just did it and it was quite uncomfortable, but I could do it. Man, with stuff like hands and feet, just stare at hands and feet a lot. It's not a creep if you're doing it for art. It's not being a creep if you're doing it for art, I swear. Matt, you ever tried to do like Escher Girls poses? Is Escher Girls a thing outside of like Tumblr? I mean, it must be, right? But it's basically like boobs and butt poses where usually female characters will have like things going on with their spine where they're like twisted around in a way so you can see their boobs and butt at the same time. Sometimes I can do those poses, but it does hurt my back. Thumbs are so stupid looking. I don't know what is, like, I mean, they're very, very useful, but they're also so confusing and dumb looking. I often have trouble, like, right here, right here, I'm still not completely confident about that part, because, like, I'm looking at my own arm, and I'm stretching my hand around, like, examining how it, like, connects, and, like, that little bump there and stuff. My hand's really bony, though. I don't think his hands are that bony. And I'm like, it doesn't... It's hard to draw. Right where the thumb connects to the wrist is, like, I hate that part. I hate drawing that part. But I want to get better at it, because it's hard. Yeah, thumbs being, like, so mobile can somehow make them harder to draw, because they can just be anywhere. Like, there are rules to thumbs, but not as much as the other fingers, because they can just go anywhere. Oh. Okay, it's 12:15 already. Okay. Like, yeah, every character I draw is just double jointed. What, you're not double jointed? Sucker. Get on my level. feel that going right through the pancake and then draw the pancake around it and raise. Alright, the thumb's just doing stuff. Thankfully in this hand, the thumb is back here supporting the fork, so it's just showing up a little bit. But stuff like this, and like hands are so dumb looking that that's probably not even that far off. That's probably not that bad. But it looks weird because hands look weird. Mm. Eh. The petition to make thumbs easier to draw by any means necessary. I don't think. Okay, I need like half of the pancake flopping over that way. Okay. Does that somewhat vaguely match the other size? Sort of. Okay, good enough. It's in perspective, so it looks like that. Ah, pen died. Okay, gotta give that a break. Alright, those are gun holsters, I guess. Little Gemini belt, got that 2-belt thing going on that side, and then the other side just wraps around. Okay. The markings on the hands, we'll get to that later. The weird chest tattoo thing. Okay, unless I make the stack of pancakes even higher, then part of the tattoo should be visible. I think I need to make his thigh a little bit longer there, but I can adjust that. Yeah, the arm bones, the tibia and fibia or whatever, that are on like the forearm that cross over each other. Yeah. I'm like turning my arm around and looking at it. I think I need to make the bottom of the sleeve there just like a little bit lower. I think that's what's bothering me here. To go here, it's not exactly where the sketch ends. I think it would be like more like down here. And then that has to go back a bit, so I think that should be lower down. Okay. That's what was bothering me, probably. Yeah, arms are weird. I like having my arms, though. Thanks, arms. Be nice if you were easier to draw. Legs, not too hard. Legs in perspective, kill me. Save your progress, check. Can I can't reach my nail clipper there. And it's like arms, if you did them in like a super stylized way, can be pretty simple. So I guess it's like arms and legs. If you're not trying to go with like, too much realism, or if you just don't care too much, it's like, yeah, arms and legs, whatever. But it's like, depending on what you're trying to do, does have so many weird little curves to them. And those curves can change with like bone length and muscle and fat distribution. Muscle definition, whether they're like flexing or not. So people got different shapes of elbows. Hydration check. Ow. That's also posture check. This could go out this way just a little bit more. Oh, it disconnected. Let me check on something real quick. Huh? I'll do that later. Wait, was it just because the screen wasn't wide enough? Oh, it reconnected. Okay. Unable to open the tool. Strange. Okay, maybe later. No, I barely let it charge. I don't like, is it charged yet? Gotta sign off in about 30 minutes. While waiting for my pen to charge a little bit more, I'm gonna ramble about this comic I've been trying to read but struggling with because I keep having to stop every like 5 pages and roll my eyes. But basically, it's a comic version of an Ayn Rand story. Ayn Rand? Whatever. I had a vague idea of what Ayn Rand's stuff was about. Because she was like the inspiration for oh my god, I can't remember his name, but like the guy who created wow, I can't remember anything tonight. Holy fuck. The guy who created the city of Rapture in BioShock. Like she was the inspiration for him and her writings. And he's a real douchebag. And like I was like, well, you know, never actually read any Ayn Rand stories, so it'd be cool to read it in a comic form. But like, oh my god, it's an interesting sci-fi concept. I guess it's a it's a novella, and it's about this community of people who they're not allowed to have personal identities. They're not allowed to learn. They have to do whatever they're told. It's like sort of a cult situation, it seems like. And everyone has to be equal. They have to use pronoun, like they have to refer to themselves as we. So you can't say I. You can't say I. You have to say we. Like instead of I or we. And whenever you refer to anyone else, you can refer to them individually as you, but you can't say he or she. You have to say they. I'm sure is Ayn Rand dead? She's really old, right? I don't remember if she's dead or not, but if she's alive, she's probably foaming at the mouth about the people choosing to call themselves they, or even it. I'm sure she would have a heart attack about that. But it's a society where everyone's under this whole council, and you can't, like, it's basically like a highly structured society. You have to do what they tell you to do, and if you're special in any way, if you're like naturally stronger or something than other people, or if you, I don't know, better physically built or smarter than that, they try to like squash that down so you're not too special or something. And there's this one guy who says he doesn't know what he looks like because you're not allowed to have mirrors in this world, because you're not allowed to admire yourself because you can only care about the community. But he's depicted in the comic as like pretty much like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed ubermensch of a guy. Like he looks like the Aryan Dream. And all of the side characters, like I don't even know if they're described like this in the book, but the way this comic is drawn, there's like, okay, let's see, I'm flipping through it. A racist caricature of an Asian guy. There's one of this guy's like co-worker. He's a street sweeper. That's his assigned job. And one of the guys who he's closer with is black, so I guess he can say he's not racist because his best friend is black. If they're allowed to have things like friends, but he's like more subservient than the main character and pretty much just does whatever he tells him, because he finds a tunnel down into an old subway system with strange things from the before times, the unmentionable times they call them. And he's like, you can't tell anyone we found this because they'll kill us. You can't tell anyone. So His black friend keeps a secret for him, and he goes and he learns about science all by himself because he is so very smart. And then he has a crush on one of the women. But men and women aren't allowed to look at each other in this world unless they are chosen for the annual mating ceremonies. And he catches her looking back occasionally from the fields where she works, because she's also in a lower station, but she's so beautiful. She has flowing blonde hair, and she's perfect in every way, and she seems more intelligent, and she's not like the other girls. And he starts thinking of her as the golden one, even though people aren't allowed to have individual names. So it's bad that he's thinking of her like this. And there's this one page. I need to take a picture of this page and send it, because I cringed so hard at it. It's like this whole comic is like, it's a very, very, very much pandering to the type of alt-right guy who very much wants to be victimized. He's so desperate to be a victim that he has to create this world. Well, I guess Ayn Rand created this world. But it's the kind of thing where I can see these people having like a power fantasy where it's like, I'm being pushed down and people are trying to push down my natural perfection. But I won't let them. I'm smart and perfect, and this hot chick has a crush on me. And she's perfect, and they can't keep us down like this. And it's just like, the type of people who would really, really enjoy this story and think it like spoke to them and it like had great ideas and stuff are the most annoying fucking people in the entire world. It's one of the most like pandering stories and comics with how it depicts the other characters that I have ever seen. But also it's like fascinating, this weird persecution power fantasy. Because I'm like, I guess it's obvious that the like commune the guy lives in is meant to be like an exaggerated like nightmare of communism, where literally everything is shared and you can't even have your own name or identity and stuff like that. But I'm like, in a way, this is like, if I wanted to write an outlandish caricature of like what I thought a dystopian, like, white nationalist capitalist hellscape, like dystopia society looked like, I would kind of be doing a lot of the same things, actually. Be like, you can't be individual, you can't dye your hair, you can't step out of the gender binary. It's like, you will be forced to do what we tell you to do. There will be, all the stuff the Republicans want, like no race mixing and stuff like that, but like to a crazy, exaggerated degree. So I'm like, honestly, this seems like the kind of thing where, like, yeah, like if I was going to write something outrageous like this, I could very easily make it about, like a capitalist dystopia. Anyway, I'm trying to read it, but it's so cringe. I'm having trouble. And the thing is, I want to redonate it to the Bubonicon free table tomorrow because it is sci-fi. And either someone else will think it's interesting, I kind of hope not, but whatever, or someone will think it's super cringe, which I kind of do. It's kind of embarrassing. And I'm like, I'm trying to be like, it's just an